Well, Nika, I guess we have no choice in what we need to do today. Come and see me right away. It's time. Probably be grim as shit. Grim as shit, not grim as shit. Okay. Looks like I can't put this off any longer. We've done everything else we can, and finding that plant in the agrodomes was a huge win for us. But the escape ship lacks a functioning food processor, so we wouldn't have to do this, but Colony B is the last place we can look for one, and without it, you'll starve on the way back home. Much as I don't want to, please, just plot a course to Colony B in the shuttle bay, and let's get this over with. So many bodies! Oh. And away we go, go, go! Based on what little information I was able to receive, the Colony B living spaces became very volatile in their final months. I really don't want to go in there, but we need to see if we can get our hands on that food processing unit. Everything we've discovered at the agrodomes will be in vain if we can't get a working unit installed on the escape ship. So, I guess, head inside and I'll guide you from there. You should be in Hall A south of the Colony B crew quarters. The food processing unit should be in the mess hall. The door should be to your right. Please, Nico, let's just check the mess hall first. If we don't have to go any further, I'd rather not. Not gonna be that easy. These posters were made from hand-drawn slogans and images on the backs of readouts and technical blueprints. Their slogans vary, but ask essentially the same question: where's Pierre Tong? Apparently the director was not popular after the Rift event. It's a ration unit for emergency supplies. It's completely empty. There's a word on the display that says, please enter room codes in the correct sequence. Alada Elamine, Elazar Sari, Sarbjit Bouchard, Mingan Rumsey, Kaylee Pajari. You have to figure out which quarters belong to which colonists, I suppose, and enter the room codes in that order. I'm gonna... Actually, yeah, I can do it on my phone. I need a note. This way I can keep track of everybody's codes and just punch them all in really easily. Alright. There's a terminal over there that might have info we need, so we make this quick. Let's check it out. Those beds were constructed with emergency materials and some hasty stitching. With much of the colony damaged, crowding must have been a major problem. Judging by the scan, different families and colonists used the beds over time, likely in rotation. This is not how people should live. There's some real-world commentary for you. Terminal first, fine. Those hand-drawn signs read, day since Tong left us, 128. The number has been scratched out and rewritten several times. Talk to me about the terminal. This terminal contains reports related to the running of the colony after the Rift event. Perhaps we can use these to understand the situation at the time. From here you can access personnel profiles, incident reports, or council projections. These reports give psychological breakdowns of many of the remaining colonists, as reported by head psychologist Sarbjit Bouchard. I'll load them up. First profiles on communication specialist Kaylee Pajari. Subject is dealing with breakdown of colony by focusing on her child. Ooh, there were kids here. Shit. He maintains a hopeful attitude. When her partner... Oh, actually, the kid might have still been at home. When her partner is available to care for their child... Nope, okay, they were here. Subject uses spare time for exercise. I believe this has been key to her mental well-being. Next profile is on Sanitation Supervisor Elazar Sari. Previous sessions with subject revealed a studious, calm individual. His pre-colony evals were always open, so... Alright, forgot the name of the comms person, but had a kid, child, exercise. Alright. Sanitation. Watch there be like clues in the rooms that to their names too. Sanitation, studious, calm. Continuing. He remains focused on keeping calm and tidy to deal with the chaos around him. One unchanged facet is his desire for privacy, which is difficult with our new situation. A lot of terraforming. Boards data, so probably a lot of like notes laying around. Or data pads. Last profiles on it for Milada Elamin. Subject continues to work tirelessly in her capacity as terraforming analyst. She hoards data on the subject. She's allowed several colonists to share her quarters. Shared space. So, as space becomes difficult, I suspect her passive nature is allowing others to abuse her kindness, however. Those are all the relevant entries I could recover from the terminal. Incidents. Intent to maintain order. It appears the colonists formed a crude justice system whereby offenses were judged by peers and recorded. Most recent report reads, Technician Rumsey was detained after his third altercation with another colonist. Liked to fight? His disruptive behavior is making things difficult. Though his contributions to the overall effort are appreciated, his talent for aggressive intervention is becoming a liability. In such a desperate situation, it must have been difficult to maintain a stable society. Give me personnel again, I just want the first name. Bouchard, okay. Just gonna blast through this since we already read all that. Looks like the colonists formed a rotating body to help organize the survivors and introduce some kind of order. Last entry is dated 2059-0313. Second scouting party, EJ Colony A, has not returned. Supplies are at their limit, and compromise to Colony B only worsens. With current population, survivability is only a matter of months. Water filters continue to function, but rations are running out. There's an addendum entered a few days later. Child of Colony B, Crystal Pajari. Ooh. Oh, I hope. Child Crystal who died. Even her mother has abandoned hope. Alright. How terrible. I had no idea. Honestly, I didn't. You want to access any other reports or exit the terminal? Okay, if you need to review anything, you should be able to access the terminal again. Okay. So let's see if we get into these quarters. Dozens of dusty textbooks and reference material about humans' behavior and psychology on that shelf. You humans really do like inefficient physical media. Won't I, though? couple of sleeping areas set up for colonists, and the furniture has been moved to accommodate them. Alright, this is probably the one who was sharing her quarters then. Despite the musty layer from being exposed to the damp air, that bed is tidily made. So I'm gonna guess, that's number one. Although it was terraforming data that she was into, so I'm not sure. Static leather couch. It looks very well worn, like many people have sat or reclined upon it. These are all in Hall A in case I have to come back. The obsessive collection of terraforming. Okay, terraforming is definitely number 2 then. A2. All of it meticulously noted and organized. Oh, they listed the psych doctor in the evaluations. I want to go to all the shitters. Photo depicts one of the female colonists, but it's too warm for me to properly analyze. Seats on the bed aren't standard, and there are personal items around it that don't match the decor of the room. Okay, this is definitely Mulata's then. Several makeshift bedrolls on the floor. One of them is covered with the standard issue sheets that normally go on a bed. It almost looks like the occupant gave up their bed to someone else and slept on the floor instead. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna check the terminal again just to get the name of the psych doctor. No, Bouchard was the, oh no, Bouchard was the doctor. Pajari was the comms one, okay. So that's the one in A1. Okay. So a relatively small phone screen, so it's not as easy to type. Okay. And just as proof, like, yeah, it's just a note. I'm not Googling the solutions. Okay. Skim through this. Checking every angle here. It's a portable med lab with extra supplies. There isn't anything left in it. Too bad we didn't find any of these in the medical facility. Ladders have been rigged with water drips in an attempt to grow food. Someone must have brought seeds back from the agrodomes. That board suggests the colonists set up a kind of community center and communication system. There are notes for ration quotas, work schedules, and water uses logs. Without me, I suppose, they had to fend for themselves. A single sleeping area has been fashioned in that corner. The occupant of those quarters was likely not fond of sharing space. This is, yeah, really clean. A small table is covered with rotting piles of books and storage discs. Some of them appear to contain information on sanitation. That's our sanitation guy. That's B2. Or B3. It's probably just the numbers, but I'm going to add the letters regardless. The replica of Zen Buddhist phrase from Old Earth. It translates as beginner's mind. The bed looks like it was made to military standards. The occupant appears to be very neat and tidy. Evidence of children, so I'm going to say this is probably Pajari. That musty shelf doesn't contain anything useful to us, but it's packed with children's publications, educational books, and toys. More children's toys. These look to be some kind of homemade playset constructed from 3D printed plastic. They're very elaborate. Those are high-quality running shoes. They've been broken in and considerably from regular use. So yeah, that's definitely Pajari. Definitely thought the terminal would be a thing, but I guess not. I like the little toy shuttle. The bed is covered in children's books and toys. The occupant must have been one of the few new parents at the colony. Yeah, definitely. Again, I was not expecting dead kids. I can now appreciate why, our AI didn't want to come back here either. That's just an extra terminal check. Oh. In attempt to provide more habitat, the colonists must have set up this portable emergency tent as another room. Looks filled with the remains of supplies and personal effects, so someone must have lived in it permanently. As access to materials became more difficult, colonists likely used makeshift barriers like this to keep out the elements and attempt some kind of privacy. There's quite a number of people who occupied this room. These are certainly not ideal living conditions. I gotta pee! Someone put up a handmade shift schedule, likely because network systems were down. The schedule was for the medical facility. Chart of various drugs and instruments, along with a homemade chart for various patients. I think this room was used as some sort of unofficial treatment room, away from the medical facility. There are discarded nurses' uniforms under all the dust and dirt. This room is in a serious state of disarray. This is presumably Rumsey's. Wasn't Rumsey the one we found with his head caved in earlier? Can't sneak back there. Alright. Those depictions look to have been made by two different children, judging... Oh, more than one. Judging by my analysis of the scan. According to the official records, only 3 children were born in this installation. They were all in Colony B, so my records are incomplete. Well, that's depressing. That's a community accessible filtration system. Judging by the leftover residue, it used a series of filtration pucks to purify the rainwater. With a proper testing apparatus, that could be dangerous. By this point, however, the colonists' options were probably very few. We haven't found the remains of any of the colonists who remain here. Perhaps they are still alive somewhere? I doubt that. The emergency tent is stuffed with multiple makeshift beds. It must have housed at least 4 people. That would have been terribly cramped. A batch of angry posters have been pasted to the wall. One set reads, Hudson Cartier left us to die. The other one has a crude drawing of, oh, is that supposed to be me? It says we don't need AI to survive. I don't understand. Why would they have been angry with me? I lost all communications access. I was not able to help. I know. Both my responsibility and my desire to help the crew I serve. Had I been able to prevent this disaster, of course I would have. This is most unsettling. I had no idea that people of Colony B felt this way. I think it's best if we could just continue on with our mission. Having more and more colonists occupy such small spaces would have been a problem in terms of health and sanitation. With nowhere else to go, a sick colonist could have easily infected the others, especially if ventilation was poor. What awful conditions. It appears that someone converted this empty container into a sleeping area for an infant. Makeshift crib. Be careful, the shattered polycarbonate pieces of that broken light fixture could be enough to damage your suit. The energy chair has been tossed around, causing damage to the room. It's bent completely out of shape. Those plants look to have been violently knocked over. Okay, this is probably the angry dude. So then who's the medical dude? Alright. Water damage to open. Bed has been tossed as if someone had been moving around and over it. Something has been rigged with hoses and a crude spout solution to act as a shower system of some kind. Your scan reveals a lot of old dirt and mold built up in there. Probably hasn't been used in many months. There's one that wouldn't even let me hit the button on the lavatory. I just want to give it one more shot. Maybe there's an achievement for trying every bathroom. I think it was this one. Orange set of sheets to be showed up as a privacy guard to separate the two halves of the room. I just wanted to poop. Okay, well that is all of that. Let's go punch these codes in. Alright, Malada. Oh. Malada, Elazar, Bouchard, Rumsey, Pajari. So 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. I guess the medical one's just to throw us. 2, 3, 1. 6, 4. Got it. Okay, so just the numbers. How terrible. It looks like a seismic event caused yet another collapse. That room looks like it's entirely demolished. I hate to think it's true, but Nico, I think the survivors were trapped in this room when it happened. If so, they likely all perished here together. What an awful end. Well. yoink. Food processing unit itself is terribly out of order, but these parts will help us maintain the unit on the escape ship. What happened here, there, in Colony B is nothing less than a tragedy. All those poor people must have suffered right up until the end. This is all my fault. It's not. You are too kind. There was no way for me to understand the depths of the suffering here, but seeing it now with you doesn't make it any easier. These people all died thinking I abandoned them. Well, one last thing before you come back. Have a look at the east side of the room. I'm picking up a light air current coming from there. I feel like we're not gonna like what we find there. Well. Oh yeah, we didn't find Pierre's body yet, so that's probably what we're gonna find. Oh, that's the escape ship Shanghai from Colony B. It's even worse than I imagined. Oh, there's got like just obliterated, I guess. Good work. I think you found the last of these schematics. This one contains highly detailed formula and notes regarding your propulsion system. Incredible. With all these improvements, the escape ship can be even better than we hoped for. You'll let Mr. Tong know about this when you visit him in the holosim chamber. Who doesn't like a schematic? That drone has been exposed to native elements for so long, it's adopted quite an interesting appearance. Nico, as you have probably surmised, that is the body of Director Pierre Tong. This is a most surprising discovery. By all the other colonist accounts, Mr. Tong left Colony B and never returned. They felt he abandoned them, so what is he doing here? Hold on, Mr. Tong was holding a datapad when he died. Thankfully, it still has some power. I'm transferring its contents now. Well, this is incredible. It appears Mr. Tong was working on a way to improve the escape ships. His datapad contains detailed plans for upgrades. The schematics you found must have been the first draft of these upgrades. He must have worked on them before leaving the colony. There's an audio file attached to the plans. I'll parse it for you. Jean, I know you doubted me. I know you thought I'd given up on everyone. Maybe for a little while, I did. But as usual, I couldn't accept defeat. So I found a way. I made these plans to help who was left. Of course, I had hoped you'd be there when I got back, but you weren't. Nobody was. John, you have to believe me. I came back to help. But when I returned, everyone was either gone or dead. It was too late. I saw their signs. I thought they thought I had failed them completely. And I guess I have. Worst of all, though, I failed you. I hope you find this. I hope you're still out there, and you come back. These plans can help you survive. They were so gifted a magi between those two. The audio file ends here. I think it was recorded 2 years ago in 2062. I don't think Mr. Lumumba ever got to hear this message. Please, Nico, we've seen enough. I can't bear it anymore. Just come back home. What a waste. The other escape ship has been completely demolished. Its prolonged exposure to the elements has rendered it useless, even for parts. Rippy pippy. Nothing else up here. Just the idea of a whole ass ship just beat to crap like that from falling down. Not reassuring. Get out of here before another collapse. There we go for water, not caffeine here before we go. Alright. Let's ride. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. No, it's not. It's... oh, never mind. Alright, well that's everybody's bodies. That's all Pierre about his, and then probably one night fixes and we're out. Kinda worked out the time a lot better than I thought it would. That was beyond awful. Please don't think less of me, Nico. You didn't kill them all. It's natural disaster. Well, Nico, I guess now we know the depths of what happened at the other colony. Looks like you have one last discovery to report tonight. This really has been a rough week. Telling me. In the meantime, I'll be using your data to prepare the escape ship. I suppose, Nico, we have to just keep moving forward. Let's scoot that poot. It's time, Nico. Whatever happens in the Holosym chamber tonight, I think it's best if you're honest. I hope Mr. Tong isn't too upset with either of us. None of the other ones have been, but I actually would be kind of a welcome surprise to have one who just gets pissed about it. But at the same time, they're all trying to help me, so probably not gonna happen. Or maybe just pissed at themselves. Like, some have been down on themselves, but not, like, outraged. Oh, hello again, Nico. I was making some real progress on the thruster simulations for your ship. I was a bit distracted there. What seems to be the matter? You look like you want to tell me something. Did something happen? Found you. Oh, I see. Well, I suppose we knew this was coming. Be honest with me. What exactly did you find? Well, that's not really what I expected. To be honest, this all sounds very complicated. I guess the other me, he didn't realize what he meant to the other colonists, that his personal quest would be interpreted as desertion by them. Isn't he crazy? He was doing exactly what I'm trying to do for you now. Trying to fix an escape ship, trying to make it better so you can survive. But he wasn't being selfish. He was trying to do it for Jean. To at least give him a chance. I saw some of the scan data of that AF4B3B process from your trip to Colony B. They really hated me. Him, I suppose. They didn't really understand. What's worse, though, is that they never realized how much I tried to do to help them. At that point, though, we were all doomed. Transparency and leadership. Sometimes useful. Damn it, I couldn't help Jean. I couldn't even help the people who trusted me. And I couldn't even help myself. I'm a failed leader by all accounts. Don't say that. Surely you can understand why I think so. So many people relied on me. I didn't come through for them. I think I know what you mean, though. I guess, well, what happened these past couple of years, that wasn't even me. Strange to think of it this way, but since AF4B3B recreated me here, I've been growing, learning. I suppose it means I've become my own person. It makes me wonder if the person you see in front of you right now, is there now? Would I make different decisions? Would things work out? I think so. You do, don't you? You really do. That helps, you know? That confidence you seem to have in me. I appreciate you telling me the truth. It's difficult but necessary. You make a pretty good leader yourself, Nico. That's a lie. And with that out of the way, let's talk about something else. We can't change the past, and there's still so much to do. What do you want to talk about tonight? Schematics. So, you found all those handwritten designs. Let's see what the other me was up to. What we can do with these. It's a hell of a lot, thanks. The other me was trying to solve the problems I am now, only he had to do a piece of paper in his head. You see, the problem with the ship is that we couldn't predict what is happening with the planet right now. That's providing a whole new set of variables. And the extra resistance, gravity, and atmospheric changes caused by the collapse. It causing too much for the escape ship as it exists now. The ship itself, that purple egg, is fine. Once you get to space, it should operate as intended. As long as the others also solve their own problems. The bottom half, which is the first stage rocket, needs improvement. We don't have the ability to heavily modify the ship, since you're the only one left. With all the schematics you found, we can make some clever adjustments that don't require anyone else. This is a big deal. What else would you like to talk about tonight? Colony B. Of course, yes. Let's go over what you saw out there. It really seemed like the other colonists did their best to maintain order out there. They were good people, smart, driven. Maybe part of me thought that the people would survive on their own, that they didn't need me. Obviously, that wasn't completely true. I didn't know how to be a leader in a way. The other colonists needed a beacon, perhaps. Perhaps when you trust and respect people, you actually neglect them. You don't give them the support they need because you don't think they need it. I demanded a lot from people, and they always delivered. In leaving Colony B, I guess I took everyone else for granted. But I couldn't see that at the time. They thought I had abandoned them. when I probably just assumed they'd be okay. It was an arrogant mistake. I don't know. Tough situation either way, but in the end, I guess, at least my actions will help you out. Let's talk about you. Well, sure, if you're asking. Before signing up with Hudson Cartier, I was pretty much a lone wolf. I didn't like to manage people, or even worry about them, so I usually stuck to myself. And I remember when I was quite young and still at school, being both very presumptuous and aggressive in my studies. One time, another student and I produced detailed technical reports for an engineering class. You know, schematics, rational real-world applications, that kind of thing. I read the other student's report, and I knew it wasn't as good as mine. It was solid, well-researched, but not creative, not as revolutionary. Well, when we received our evaluations, I was horrified to learn I had gotten the same grade. I was livid. I told my instructors. In fact, I made everyone's life hell for a few days, demanding to know how they could merit our efforts equally, even though my work was better. That's intense. I was a very intense young man, almost seething, you know? I took everything so seriously back then. Wouldn't let the administration go without changing the marks. I felt my work had to be recognized as superior to the other students. What I realized later now is how awful I'd been. And trying to demand that recognition for my own ability, I was undermining that of the girls. It took me a long time to mature from that point. And as my recognition throughout the world grew, I realized how selfish and petty that all was. So when we chose candidates for this facility, I looked for that. I looked for me all those years ago. And anyone who reminded me of that didn't make the cut. Learn about the fate of the other me. That wasn't easy. But your willingness to be honest with me has only made me more dedicated to completing the work I've started here. This facility may be a lost cause, and I may never forgive myself for its failure, but spending this time with you has reminded me of something pretty important. The fact that we're not perfect, that we can't always be judged to the highest in our field. That doesn't matter. A long time ago, couldn't have said that. We use this new information to get that damn ship to work, Nego. You can bet on that. You're gonna get off this godforsaken planet. And for bringing me around, I don't think I could have got over this hump without you. I'm with you, bro. I know you are, and it means a lot, believe me. Well, no point in wasting cycles. I'm going to complete this work. See you soon. Doop, 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 egg ship. Alright, let's go to bed. Let's wrap this up. So I can go to bed and wrap things up.